What Sunday night signified, it wasn't just a big win over the team that was in the national championship last year. It wasn't just another data point within the Miami and Notre Dame rivalry, Catholics versus convicts, all of that hoopla. What they signify with that win on Sunday night is they are on the brink, depending on what they do this year, of stringing together back-to-back successful seasons. Say what you want about last year and how it ended in the Pop-Tart Bowl and the Canes defense being so bad that they weren't able to actually make it to the ACC championship game, let alone the 12-team playoff. Last year was a successful season for the Canes. A 10-win year. You get the number 1 overall pick in the draft with Cam Ward, and you got a resetting to the culture, which started to feel a little bit stale because the Canes kept coming up a little bit short. Mario Cristobal's job security went through the roof based off of last year as well. And then you look at this year. You get 6 or 7 new defensive starters. You get a new defensive coordinator. You bring in a team like Notre Dame week 1. Transfer quarterback again in Carson Beck, who the world was out on. And to deliver like that, to get that kind of a win, it was a complete game win. It was Miami dominating early and looking like they were going to pull away. The defense having one key breakdown in the coverage, which you kind of called it was really weird, CK.
Yeah.
I kind of didn't like that. We're sitting in the press box. Miami is up by 7. This is late. This is the defensive breakdown that happened late. Miami's up by 7. Notre Dame is starting their drive in the fourth quarter. And Cat is like, we're about to get a big play here up to the 10-yard line. And everybody's like, what? They had just got the ball. They had just got the ball off the kickoff. Literally seconds later, a 60-yard bomb because of a defensive mishap in the backfield. And the Notre Dame was in business. But what I love so much about that win was I wouldn't be as confident in what the Canes can be this year if it was just a wire-to-wire victory where there was no level of adversity. But that defense did allow Notre Dame back into the game. And then what ensued is what is promising about this program. Miami marches back down the field, and they set up for a game-winning kick. By the way, C-Cat, I don't know if you knew this because I just found out this morning. I did not realize it, but the kicker, Carter Davis, who hit it from 47 yards out, FAU transfer.
Oh.
Big day for FAU, or big weekend for FAU at Hard Rock Stadium. On Saturday in the Orange Blossom Classic, the very first touchdown and only touchdown of that game in Howard's win over FAMU. Quarterback for Howard, starting quarterback, transfer out of FAU, Tyreek. And then you get the same thing the next day, the game winner, Carter Davis, 47 yards out. So that was something nice to note if you're a Palm Beach County Treasure Coast person. But on top of that, it was the drive afterwards where Notre Dame gets the ball back. The Canes are up by 3. It is a bit of angst in the crowd. People are like, oh, my God, we've seen this story time and time again. This is what it was like last year where the defense gets back out on the field and they don't have the requisite answers and they allow big plays to happen and teams get wins. See Georgia Tech 2 years ago. See Georgia Tech last year. See Syracuse when the Canes had a 24-point lead and they let them back in. But no, the last drive for Notre Dame, Akeem Mesidor, sack, a penalty. Another, Akeem Mesidor and Ruben Bain, sack, game over. That's big time college football right there.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's a championship contending team in the Miami Hurricanes, and nobody would have had the confidence to say that before the season kicked off.
And if I'm not mistaken, unless you said these 2 words when I was handing you a couple of papers, have you even mentioned the name Carson Beck yet?
Haven't. Not really. I said transfer quarterback in Beck. I did at one point,
okay.
but the thing is he wasn't
the unknown
special.
Was whether or not you're going to have a quarterback that can fill the shoes of Cam Ward. And what did Cam Ward do last year? He slapped a Band-Aid on a lot of problems within the Miami football program. So and one of the things was marching his team down the field when the defense might let the offense down. And Carson Beck did that. When there was the defensive breakdown, got the football back in Miami's hands, and he marched down the field for a game-winning field goal.
And I think, to be honest with you, if it wasn't a conservative approach by Shannon Dawson and Mario Cristobal there, I would have trusted Carson Beck to actually lead them to a touchdown on that drive, or at least on 3rd and 5, not just go with the inside handoff to make the Irish call a timeout, kick the field goal. I would have trusted him with the ball in his hands, or at least like to see what that looked like. to try and pick up a first down and really end the game. But I love the way they iced the game no matter what. The Canes trust their defense. That's part of – a lot of people are criticizing Mario Cristobal for, not – or for the conservative call of not trying to pick up that first down before the 47-yard game winner. But what that tells me in hindsight, after what we saw happen, because Ruben Bain and Akeem Mesidor are unblockable, is that he's like, oh, I am unconcerned with this kid making his first start against this defense. I am unconcerned about the results. And they talked about it afterwards. They practiced those 2-minute situations, time in and time out. And it looked like a veteran-laden team that was able to make the stop there. Look at the Canes right now. And we're going to get the AP polls soon, so we'll find out where they land. But they beat the number 6 team. They were ranked 10 coming into the season. Miami's win over Notre Dame. I know everybody's hype off of Florida State. USF deserves their credit. Miami's win over Notre Dame, by far the biggest win of the college football season so far, obviously, of the weekend, but then also the biggest win the Canes have had since 2017, with room for improvement if they capitalize on this season. Like, I can't, I'm not the type to exaggerate, but the Canes look like a championship contending team. I actually just had a conversation recently with Brady Quinn, Notre Dame former quarterback, does Fox Sports analysis, and he agreed like that, all 3 phases, this team looks totally different from last year's team. The run game somehow has improved, even though it was already good last year. The passing, the weapons, you lose Restrepo, you lose Sam Brown, you lose Jacoby George, but you still have weapons like Malachi Toney popping out. I mean, like, this is a really complete football team, and that was the biggest win of the weekend with the Florida teams. We're going to ask if there's any kind of, bounce back from that. If anybody has a bigger win, we're going to call to the Baptist Health hotlines here, 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. Who had the biggest win of the weekend? It is a Tuesday, but who has the motion on this Tuesday? It would be a motion Monday. Coming off of a week 1 of college football that saw the Canes get a huge win over rival Notre Dame, and likely we'll get a jump in the polls. And CCAT, I think I heard you say we might have something.
Oh, we've got the AP poll, and it is awesome. Okay, it's meaningless, but it's awesome.
Hold it then. 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. Who had the biggest win of the weekend, and how is it not the Miami Hurricanes and Mario Cristobal's squad, showing that they are building off of last year? It was not a one-hit wonder. It was not just Cam Ward driven. That is a program that is moving in the right direction. 888-760-3776. Welcome to pro-level orthopedic care at Baptist Health. From sports injuries to everyday aches, our expert team delivers the same advanced care trusted by the pros. Get back to the life and the activities you love. Learn more at baptisthealth.net/ortho. 888-760-3776. There was a lot of moving and shaking over the weekend. There were a lot of big wins, big losses as well. I think this deserves a little breaking.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire. If your vehicle has issues with braking or other issues, get it fixed right now at St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
The AP polls have dropped. Miami was 10. Notre Dame was 6. I'm curious to see just how far Notre Dame went down. You want to start from the top, or how are you going to do this?
We've got like drama kind of mixed all along this poll. We haven't even mentioned about Alabama and what you do with Alabama as a top 10 team, losing to an unranked Florida State team, but you're basing all of that ranking on prediction and not actual data. We'll start from the top. Why not? It's easy. Your number 1 team in college football per the AP poll, Ohio State.
Yeah, I like it.
After beating Texas. Heather Dinich of ESPN thought that was not going to be the case. But that is the case. Penn State stands pat at number 2, taking care of business against Nevada. LSU beating Clemson is now your number 3 team in the country.
Okay.
Georgia played a nobody. They are number 4. Miami is at number 5.
You know what? Good on the Associated Press. I was having a conversation in the office just earlier. Let's stop it right there for a second. I was having a conversation in the office, and we were curious just how bold and just how much motion would they get moving up in the, because it wasn't like everybody fell and lost, but good on them. I think they could have went as high as 4 above Georgia. because they actually played somebody.
Mhm.